how do you feel at the moment, given the current form? That result obviously means Spurs are only 3 points separating the sides as it stands. Spurs still have that game in hand, but thoughts overall, Ads, on the current form with Tottenham and how you feel about this business end of the season?
Yeah, I was like, after the Villa game, I was like, right, everyone's back. We're fit. You know, everyone knows what they got to do now. Amazing performance against Villa. You know, controlled the game from start to finish. You know, well, didn't control it, but were pretty good. I thought, right, okay. You know, Fulham, we were playing before Villa, so you've got an amazing opportunity. They're a decent team. Do you know, the thing that annoyed me the most actually was afterwards listening to Son's interview. I don't know if you listened to it, but he basically almost semi-admitted some of the stuff that Lloris used to say a few years ago. We've got to prepare better for these games and be, you know, mentally better. And you're sitting there going, really? What? So you're admitting that you weren't prepared, or you thought it was going to be easy, or you thought it was going to be a walk in the park, or I thought that had sort of gone a bit, because we haven't really seen that under Ange. Like, we've seen like them not play so well in some games and stuff like that, which is fine. But the Fulham game was just, you know, they outworked us and outfought us in every department for most of the game. Forget tactics and all of that. You know, they just sort of wanted it more, and you were like, I can't really. That was the bit that really wound me up. The only I'm generally an optimist. My only hope is, again, I'm going back a little bit, but under Conte, a similar thing happened. And I'm hoping this is a massive wake-up call where they're like, right, we've got, I don't know how many games left it is, 10 games left. Every game's a cup final. No matter what, it's unacceptable. And this is how we have to be. That's the only hope that can come out of it, because there's no excuses now. We've got every single player back. Everyone's fit. You know, we have obviously one little injury, but, you know, the main bulk of the team is literally there. The bench.
Ricks, I'm going to bring you in if I can. Just to echo those words Adam said there about Sonny. Sonny, after the game, actually said he didn't hold back. Very disappointing, very frustrating. Everybody has to look in the mirror and say it's my fault. It was not good enough. We didn't put the effort in we have put in during the season. The performance, the attitude was not good enough. Everyone needs to take this as a big wake-up call. And look, in the Premier League, if you're not ready, you get punished. Aston Villa are an amazing team, but so are Fulham in many different ways. If you are not giving 100%, including me, you're going to get punished. If you don't get the points, you don't get the points for free. We had to put a lot of effort in to get the 3 points against Aston Villa. This was 2 backward steps. We now need to make sure we're strong, put that step forward. It was unacceptable, including me. We're representing the Premier League. We're representing Tottenham Hotspur. It was big words there from Sonny after the game. And I just wonder, Ricks, look, we're hopefully going to be we're nearly a fortnight on now from that. We've got 10 crucial games left of the season. I mean, Ricks, did that defeat come as a real surprise to you? Or, as I said, going back to what I said earlier, these are traits of a young team trying to find consistency under a new manager, a new style. And unfortunately, I know many won't like me hearing me saying this, but I do think these results are going to happen. And as strong as we were after the game in our post-match show, I think, again, period of reflection tells you that, you know, that's probably the first time this season, Ricks, that we haven't actually shown up. And Aaron said the same after the game. It was really the first time that ultimately we didn't reach the manner or levels that we've been used to. So, Ricks, how do you feel we are going into now these crucial final 10 games of the season?
I think it's a great loss. It's such a positive loss, because we went in there and we expected things to happen for us without us going to work. And that's like a mock exam, and you know the answer. You know exactly what the answer is, but you didn't revise the night before because you were so confident that you didn't need to. And then it's come up to it and you're like, I can't remember that word. Why have I? Because you didn't work. If you would have worked, you would have had it and it would have been still simple. So right now, I think that loss has come almost like that, and it's shaken the squad up a lot. And I'm glad that right now that we have a captain and a manager with heart and honesty running through. So that's leadership right there. What Sonny said right there. You know, Ange is a leader. He leads. Both of them lead by example, but they lead by their words as well. They are vocal. They do put it out there, but they are honest. Something that we can all agree with when they say something, and they say it with heart. They say it because they love the club. They say it because they want us all to be happy and to be cheering at the end of the season about something, and they know how much it means. Look at it, like, that's running through. So these things are changing. We know how toxic it was at the end of the season, last season, you know, and we didn't know what direction we was going in. Right now, we have a direction that we're going in. Right now, we have a manager and a captain and a leadership group that the core of them is heart and honesty. So having a defeat like this could be the best lesson for all of them to take on Luton, to take on West Ham, to take on the likes of Nottingham Forest, where those teams can be overlooked. Right now, you've got to go to work and you've got to show us, because now these last 10 games are the exam. This is what the GCSEs are for. You're going to go through all your different subjects, you know, your science, your maths, your English. You've got all your different subjects right up until that last game of the season. So right now, it's about how they pull their socks up, how they go to work, and how they react to this. Because the one thing I do know is that they go to work. When they've made a mistake, they go to work. You look at Vicario, you look at Romero with the yellow cards and the red cards, and some of the, they go to work. You see them adapting, you see them changing, you know, their style and trying to make those mistakes that they're making less of a chance of being a mistake and more of it being a lesson so that they can learn from it. So I think we're in a good place.
He makes it very clear for him. He doesn't want to finish top four. He says if we haven't grown and developed as a team, then top four means absolutely nothing to me. And I think what he really regards success is the fact of the development and growth of the team as opposed to finishing fourth. So, I mean, your thoughts on that, Maka, his response to that, and ultimately where we are in your mind in terms of the current form guide going into these final 10 games of the season?
Yeah, I mean, massively disappointed with the Fulham game. I'm still not over it. It's annoying me. And I think it's the same with all of us, you know, from the Spurs point of view. But you've got to put some context wrapped around it. So all the people that want to go and string me up, here we go. You've got a nice opportunity to go and string me up if you want. At Lee McQueen on X, here we go. Because here's the Spurs context, right? We are unbeaten this season against Liverpool, United, Arsenal. Well, United twice, by the way. Arsenal and City. Right? It's just really frustrating about the fact that we lose to Fulham. Right? No disrespect. I thought Fulham were brilliant, by the way. We've also beat Villa away, and to be fair, we lost at Villa at home, but we absolutely battered them, and we should have been 4-0 up before they'd even scored. Right? So just putting some context around where it is, I'm still burning from the Fulham result. But the context is that we're unbeaten against Liverpool, United twice, Arsenal, City, beat Villa away as well. And actually, before that away game, we'd only lost 2 away games all season. We only lost 2 away games all season, and that was against Wolves and Brighton the whole season. So again, we need to put some of that context around. At the moment, because we lost against Fulham, we're still only second to Liverpool in how many games we've lost away from home. So just to put that into context as well, got the blue book out. Arsenal, City and Tottenham have all lost 3 away games this season. Liverpool have only lost 2. Everyone else has lost more, 4, and then you goes into 6s and 7s. Are you with me, team? Are you with me, viewers and listeners? Because it's really important, right, that we react. And fair enough, because football's about passion, and I've reacted as well, and I'm still seething from the result, right? But the reality is, the context is, we've lost 3 games in 13 Premier League games. That's the reality. So if people talk about going on a run, well, that is a run, isn't it? Like if we only lose 1, maybe 2 out of the next 10 games, happy days. So, you know, I think we've got to look at the season as a whole. When Ricky, when you're talking a lot of sense about the revision and, you know, the bringing the team into focus now, and obviously Rick, you said right at the beginning of the show about kind of, you know, these bumps in the road. We all knew there was going to be bumps in the road. It doesn't make it, when you hit a bump right in the road and you get a blowout, and you have to pull over on the motorway, you're seething, aren't you? You're really annoyed, and you don't want it to happen. It takes ages, and like it doesn't make it any easier, the fact that you hit a bump, even though we knew it was coming, even though we knew it was coming. But the context around it needs to be spoken about, because I think it's so easy to say we're flaky or we're not this or we're not that. You know, we're not consistent. Well, we are actually quite consistent. We are actually quite consistent if you think about the whole league across the bit. We've lost 7 Premier League games this year, and correct me if I'm wrong, we lost 4 of them straight up with the Chelsea defeat, and then we lost another 3 or 4, didn't we, in that 5 games. So actually, and I'm not saying you should take them out, because of course you shouldn't, but the reality is, did anyone at that point, probably argue Newcastle through their season, they've had a nightmare. I think Sven Botman's just got an ACL as well now. But did anyone at that point in that scenario have so many injuries, so many suspensions at one time with such a brand new manager, with such a new squad? Like, I don't think they did. Let's be fair about it. So you have to put it in there, but it is a bit of an anomaly. If you did take that and then run a consistency chart, we're pretty consistent. You know, we're 5th in the table for the away games. We're 5th in the table for the home games. We're 5th in the table for both home and away matches, right? We're 5th. That's where we're meant to be. That's where we are. That's where we're meant to be. And most people talking before the season kicked off wouldn't have put us anywhere near the top 5.
And just on that point, I think I must just add the fact that, you know, Ange spoke a lot in the pre-match presser, of course, of Spurs' game. I believe now I look back, I think it was against Fulham, where he was talking about the fact of, you know, this whole thing about plastic fans. And again, the fact that, you know, he didn't always get access to watching Premier League football, and the fact that, you know, it is a multi-global game. And I've seen lots of, you know, criticism of the fact that even at White Hart Lane now, you've got a huge amount of contingency for fans there that absolutely love and adore Son. And I've said this many times that, you know, I don't think you need to be charted or accumulated based on how many games you go to be recognised as a Spurs fan. You know, there's many people that would love to go all around the world that unfortunately, as you said there, Lee, don't have that access to go. And look, I think it's great for the club if they can get to the different locations so fans can go and see them.